Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be customizing an Ever After High doll into Victoria from The Corpse Bride. I started off with removing her old hair and removing her face with 100% acetone, spraying the face with Mr. Super Clear, and starting with the face up. I started off with sketching out her eyes with a light brown pencil and a little bit of purple for her eyeshadow. Now, I originally wanted to do her main outfit, like the first outfit that we see, her everyday outfit, but I couldn't find the right fabric, so I knew I would have to make custom fabric, and I just didn't have time this year. That's definitely a future project that I can plan for. Now, just like with Emily, I'm painting in some white scleras with the white acrylic paint, which just helps me block in her eyes. I also went in with a light pink color that I mixed and painted a few layers of that. After that, I could spray the face again with Mr. Super Clear and use pencils and pastels to shade the lips and try to get them closer to the movie. I felt like Ever After High faces was perfect for Victoria since her head is pretty round. This specifically is Duchess Swan. She's a little bit taller, but I didn't have any spare bodies that were the regular height, and I needed to give Emily some height anyways with the sculptor stand. So it kind of worked out, like they ended up being about the same height. I think Victoria still is a slightly bit taller, but now at this point we are getting closer to the last layer. We're just building up the colors and adding some shading around her scleras and cleaning it up with some paint. With her face all done, we can move on to her hair. I'm just painting a grayish color and giving her that widow's peak. I'm using this gray color that I have. To be honest, it's a little bit hard to find that color that Victoria has, since sometimes, especially in like figurines, sometimes the hair will be completely gray or like a pinkish color. So I tried to kind of do it in between, but after I made those wefts, I'm just placing wefts that are already folded over and ironed to create that nice finish. Once it's completely dry, I'm going in with like this purple-ish pinkish wash of acrylic paint and glue to style her hair in place. This was really hard to get that kind of slick back ponytail, but I think it turned out pretty cute. I pretty much made it pretty hard, like the hair will not move, which is what I'm aiming for. I can tease some of the pieces to get that bun to be a little bit bigger, and I'm just kind of wrapping bits by bit just so I can try to keep it as neat as possible. Then I can style those curls on the side and set that aside to dry. We can now move on to her dress. I was obviously able to find a plain white fabric. I really, really love her wedding look. Honestly, both of her looks are beautiful. So this was a complicated bodice, so I was mainly just focused on getting it right, but I did record a decent amount, I think. You can kind of see step by step. I started off with 2 panels for the front, and I can't really explain exactly how I did it. I can just let you watch me kind of do it step by step, but yeah, I mean, I love her sleeves. That was one of my favorite parts, like doing that little puffy part, and then it's straight, and then it has like the little bit of lace. Once we are finished with the bodice, we can sew on some little pearls and move on to her skirt. Her skirt is basically like this little shape. It's not super fluffy, but it's not super skinny. And then it has 2 layers of ruffles. So I'm sewing those strips of fabric to get those ruffles. First I'm hemming it, then I can go in and gather both of those pieces and attach 1 layer at a time to the bottom of the dress. For one of the layers, I just sewed it the opposite way and then turned it over and ironed that down. For her skirt, I usually do 1 strip, but this time I did 3 panels, 2 for the back of the dress, 1 for the front. Attached those to get that kind of teardrop shape, and then we attached the ruffles. I gathered the top of the skirt ever so slightly, and I glued that directly to the bodice since it looked like the bodice was kind of like a jacket over it. So I made it one piece, and then I could close the dress and iron that. Then I just am using these cerise shoes. I cut off a little bit of that fringe part, and I'm just painting them white. I'm pretty sure she has white boots, but you won't be able to see them, so I wasn't too worried on accurateness. This is also my cat Bloom sleeping on my lap. For her crown, I'm just using a strip of Warbler, sketching out the design first and going in with some scissors to cut out the design, as well as an X-Acto knife for those little teeny half circles. Once that is all cut out, I heated up the Warbler and gently curled the ends of the crown so it's kind of like that rolled shape. I don't know the best way to describe it, but once I was done with that, I heated it up again to try it over her bun and make sure it was the right shape and I could close it. I'm just using some tulle for her veil, gathering that, sewing it directly to her bun, and then I can just pin in the crown. Once the crown is pinned in place, I can also give it a little extra shine with some gold paint. Once the hair was also dry, I went in again with a straightener once I got the veil in place to recurl those curls and flatten some things down. I can just cut that hand because her ring finger and middle finger are attached, and made a smaller gold ring. And here she is. Thank you so much for watching. This was so fun. I really hope I can make another Victoria doll, possibly next spooky season or possibly sooner. Just because October is over doesn't mean that the spooky dolls will stop. So stay tuned for more spooky dolls.